history of Artemus.
History of Artemus. Well, my name's Artemus. I am an Americana artist, and I got started around, actually, you were right, about 7 years old.
Okay. What year was that?
Oh, God. I don't know.
How old are you?
I am old enough.
Are you older than me or younger than me?
I think I'm younger, right? You may be younger.
I'm
37.
I was the baby of the band till Gio came along. I know that much.
Well, yeah.
If you don't want to...
He's been the youngest in every band that we've been in.
How old is Gio?
Gio, 35?
Okay.
I want to say. I'm 37, so.
Gio, for those who don't know, is in your band.
Gio, yeah, he's been my keyboard player for the last 7 years, and very talented guy.
Yep. Very. Extremely.
Probably more talented than he thinks. It just kind of comes out of him naturally, and then he'll open his mouth and start singing, and I think you see angels whenever he does.
You certainly hear them. Close your eyes, you see him.
Which is why I told him he's no longer allowed to sing while I am in the room.
Oh, so is he singing back up today?
Yeah. Yes, he will be. Yeah. Yeah.
He just has to do it from a different room.
Exactly. You know, I can't. I have to be the best singer in every room I enter. Yeah. So Gio's been. He has been in my band for the last 7 years. He's been on all the recordings. There's been some other keyboard players too, but he's been a consistent force in my sound, I'd say.
Do you write for Gio, or do you let him, like, do you write a part and have him perform it, or do you let him kind of...
I wouldn't begin to know where to start telling him what to do.
Fair.
I know,
Nor would I.
I know what sound I want, and I'm good enough on keys to be able to just kind of, these are the chords that I want, work in that space.
Yep.
But usually I just let him roll, and usually about 2 takes, he's got something really, really good.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it
he's
too.
Very good.
With Gio.
And the benefit of having him play with me for so long is he kind of knows what I like, what I'm looking for. And, you know, I don't have to really instruct him too much. He's able to kind of have free reign and do what he thinks it needs to be done, because I'm not incredibly picky, but I do know this is the sound I'm going for.
Sure. You have a higher registered voice, and he has an incredibly high voice.
Yeah,
so y'all's voices complement each other quite well. Yeah.
Yeah, we sang together in a Phil Collins band, and I think that helped our voices
You were
kind of
in
mesh
Phil
more.
Collins' band?
No,
Oh.
we were in a Phil Collins tribute band. We were in a cover band that played nothing but Phil Collins. Phil Collins is one of my favorite artists, and that's actually how I met Gio.
How long ago was that?
This was about 7 years ago.
Oh, 7 years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were at Lee Harvey's, and I was with a buddy of mine, and he just randomly sat down at the bench next to me.
Was he dressed up in his garb?
He was not.
Okay.
I can I'm gonna guess he was in a Star Wars shirt.
Well, that's okay. That's good. Close enough.
It feels in my memory that's how he looked. He was
I
in a
like
Star
it that
Wars
way.
shirt. But yeah, like he sat down and we were talking, and I was like, we were at like a David Bowie tribute band show.
Okay.
And I was like, I didn't know this is a thing. I guess if I could do anything, I would start a Phil Collins tribute. And he was like, oh, I've always wanted to start a Phil Collins tribute. And then
Nice.
We've been playing together ever since.
It's Genesis as well? Or
Yeah. We also did Genesis. Did Phil solo, and then we did Genesis.
Oh, so both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did that for 6 years.
Yeah.
Before we decided to... He left before I did, and then I decided to leave earlier this year.
I recall this.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there.
You convinced me.
Travis, I was there.
You were like, you don't need anybody else. What are you doing with these leeches? They're just riding your coattails. And I was like, you know what? You're right, Brian. If anybody knows about riding coattails, it's Brian.
Yeah.
I thought we were on his coattail.
I'll take it either way.
Yeah, right. Coattail's coattail.
How you doing over there?
I'm having a great time.
Yeah?
Oh, good.
Yeah. How are you gentlemen doing?
Good. Travis, who is normally behind the scenes, has joined us on camera and will be joining us on camera, I believe, from this point Knock on wood.
Well, let's not make promises we can't keep. Let's see how he does as an on-camera
Okay,
personality.
that's fair.
Truth. Also, you can knock on the wood now.
And it doesn't sound terrible.
That's
it actually
right.
sounds like knocking on wood.
I don't hear it in headphones at all.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
So I got started. I was always a band guy.
Okay.
And not like school band, but, in school, I was in bands.
Yeah.
And
Did you do any school banding?
I wanted to, but like by 7th grade, I was like, hey, I'd like to join the band. And they were like, oh, it's already way too late for that.
Yeah. Oh, you missed the boat.
I did.
The whole 2 years of the missed boat was a deal breaker.
Like, well, that's disappointment. I'm like, what if I already know how to play drums?
I did I did violin and saxophone. I did a lot of it
really?
in school. Yeah.
Did you ever pull those out to record those on your own records?
I've attempted to, and then came to the conclusion that we'll leave it in the past. But no, it was about the same time, 7th or 8th grade, that I caught the same bug where I was like, I'm done with the schooling aspect of it. I'm ready to be a rocker.
Yeah, like there's more money in it.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go be rock stars.
Yeah. I wasn't making a whole lot of money in 7th grade, but
it's historically, I made zero money in 7th grade. It was a bit rough.
Yeah. I was mowing lawns, so I had a little more than you.
Oh, I wouldn't even mow lawns.
I could have bought you a candy bar on a random Saturday.
I used to. Oh, no, I don't know if I should tell this story.
Oh, now you have to.
No, now, like I was about to say something. So back in school,
Okay.
there was like a convenience store that would sell like chips for like 4 bags for $1.
Okay. This is near school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just go buy chips and Cokes and hand them out to people. And
oh, no, you wouldn't mark them up and resell them?
no, I wanted them to be my friends. So I was like, hey, here's some chips.
That's an easy way to buy a friendship.
Yeah.
Chips.
And then that translate well to an adult just buying everyone beer and they become your friend.
Yeah.
That's how I got my entire band. I'm like, you guys want some chips?
And they say no, then you still have beer to go to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to have negotiating. And then I guess
I'm taking notes. I don't know about you.
And then I guess
I'm learning.
money.
Yeah.
I guess if beer isn't good enough, then money, I suppose.
I think I was on Skittles for too long. So I needed to move from Skittles to chips and then chips to beer.
See? There's a pyramid.
Yeah.
It's a scheme, a whole pyramid scheme, if you will.
I hate pyramid schemes.
I like looking multi-level marketing.
I like looking over to you as the gauge of my bad jokes. Yeah.
Don't look too hard. Keep telling him.
No, so here's the thing. If he's going to be your sidekick, he's got to go way over the top with it. You're going to be like, good one, Jerry.
That's right.
And sound effects. I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah. Where's your board, man?
Dude, that's Red Band. No, thank you.
Yeah.
We have that in post.
Yeah, totally.
You have a big red button. We just substitute.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is all
effects.
great.
I think
Great stuff.
Our only sound effect should be the train. You just throw the train in every once in a while.
I like that.
Now, what's the story behind that? Did you start this by a train?
I'm from the trains. I was born in the trains.
Born in the trains.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like a
I don't know. I don't think
old
there's
school troubadour.
I don't know. I can't remember anything specific why we landed on trains. Oh, tracks.
Right. We were deciding on a name of the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and there's already Highland Sound production, and so we were batting around ideas around Highland Sound something, and Cody threw out tracks, and we loved it, and so it's got multiple meanings, right? It's like we're tracking audio, Ryan's tracking music, and so then
you're saying something to somebody else, and that tracks.
Exactly. Yeah. And so then it got incorporated into some of the imagery and incorporated into then some of the sound.
We actually tried different types of tracks. We had some just tire tracks.
Right.
Not nearly as cool.
No. Tried different roadways. Tried different things that might sell it. But no, the train tracks.
No, I don't think we ever did animal tracks. I think we missed that one.
I looked at some.
Oh, you did?
Some various. I looked at various options for tracks, and this is where
we landed.
Yeah.
That's the significance.
Okay, I like it. I've ever since I was a kid, I've been kind of obsessed with trains.
Okay.
Not like enough to buy model trains, although
Okay.
they are pretty cool.
Sure.
But I've always lived next to like a train track
Mm-hmm.
and always had trains going.
Were you on the right side or the wrong side of the tracks?
I was in the middle.
Oh,
It was
on the tracks?
on the tracks. It
Oh.
was so difficult.
Yeah.
It was a
It's a hard
difficult
way to
upbringing.
live.
Do you remember there's an old school movie named Blues Brothers. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of it.
I've heard of it.
But how often the trains go by? So often you won't even notice. That was basically me
Fair.
everywhere I've lived growing up.
Yeah.
And I find like I still live next to a train track.
Okay.
So anytime the train goes by, like my fiance has a really hard time sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothers her. I don't know about so much anymore since we've been there for a few years. But,
Gotten used to it.
I find it relaxing. I don't know why. It's just, something from when I was a kid. There was always a train going by, and
You would be a survivor in New York City.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do it. What about you, Travis? I haven't paid attention to how you sleep. You sleep with like white noise and that kind of thing, or are you a very like a quiet kind of guy?
Once I'm down, it's hard to wake me.
Okay.
yeah, he throws on an episode of Frasier and
Rick and Morty.
and he's out.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. Yeah. Throw on an episode of Rick and Morty, of which I've seen every episode of every season at least a dozen times. So it's like I can be falling asleep and close my eyes and still kind of watch the episode on the back of my eyelids and then nod off. Yeah.
I just started that show from
Rick
the
and Morty?
beginning. Yeah, I've never watched it.
I started watching it when it first came out, and I kind of dropped off because I don't know. Everyone got really annoying about it, and I was like, I'm gonna hold off for a few years. And let me say something. This is weird because I can't really see your face. It's like a reverse Wilson. All I see is beard.
I try to look through this little gap when we're talking, but then I'm also trying to be mindful of where the frame on that camera is.
Yeah.
We
And
might be able to spread that out.
Distance to the microphone. There's lots of actually here, check this out.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't need to see you. I wasn't saying I needed to see you.
Now I can see you.
Actually, put it back.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. My bad.
I was wrong.
Yeah, I can come to about here and we can see each other. I'm in the frame. The microphone's got me. I'm leaning into the microphone because I can hear myself.
We can strategically place 2 or 3 mirrors
Oh yeah.
around so that reflection to reflection, you can catch them somewhere.
Right.
Maybe a television screen right there.
Well, no, that's too fancy.
Oh.
There's something about having to take 3 days to set up mirrors that's interesting to me.
We could get really meta with it and we could send the camera feed on a multi-view to that monitor. So then the cameras are looking at themselves and creating,
And then it's just this infinite
creating a
loop.
fun infinite mirror effect. And y'all would be able to see me there and each other there.
So we're just
I like it.
we're looking completely away from the cameras.
Yeah, the whole time. Being sucked into that monitor.
Suddenly, this is the most expensive Zoom call.
That's what I thought.
That's
It's
right.
like, how is this different from Zoom? Why are we even here?
Yeah, exactly. This could have been an email.
Right. Well, we've talked about some goofy stuff. Do you feel like we've covered the history of Artemis?
I don't know if we covered anything, but yeah, the history of Artemis. I mean, I feel like I was telling a story.
Oh no.
Maybe.
That's going to be hard editing.
I don't know. Long story short, I started Artemis as a project when my high school band kind of dissolved. My guitar player moved.
Okay.
He moved away, started a family.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I guess I'd better learn how to play guitar because I still got some songs to write. And
Right.
nobody wants to hear songs that are just drums. So that's how I landed here.
I like it. So do you play anything else other than the drums and the guitar?
I play a little piano, drums, guitar. little piano. When I don't know if I'm still able to, but when I was maybe 13, for 3 years, I gave up drums and explicitly played harmonica.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if I still got that talent, but I got pretty good, I think.
Huh. I'm going to keep that in mind. Although, we could have a harmonica episode. We could have a harmonica circle, instead of a drum circle.
That sounds
harmonica,
terrible.
It does actually sound awful.
That's the April Fool's episode.
Yeah, but I think the worse you play, the better that situation might be. You have 10 people trying to really play at the same time, might be horrible.
Just get 10 John Poppers in here all. You know John Popper? Yeah.
Blues Traveler.
Blues Traveler, yeah. Not the Blues Brothers. Well, that's why I started playing harmonica, was the Blues Brothers. So my songwriting process, I don't know if it's that interesting. I usually start with a song title and then work my way backwards. Okay, what does that mean? And then usually there's some symbolism in this random, song title that maybe I read somewhere, or heard somewhere from a phrase, and work back to see what that means to me. And Oh Blue Maria, which I released last year, I had the title. I didn't know what it meant.
Okay.
And I had some chords. And so I just kept singing Oh Blue Maria, which was the opening. That's not what I sing in the opening, but that was the kind of the phrasing of it.
Yeah.
I've started trying to tell stories more. My songwriting style early on was very personal. And as you grow up, you start to not, those things you needed to get out when you were younger, they're already out.
Sure.
So you have worked through everything you needed to work through. And so what else can you write about? You can't keep waiting on your girlfriend to dump you,
right.
to give you an album's worth of songs.
Right.
Remember how many times I asked?
I'm running dry.
She
Can you
won't do
just
it.
break up with me,
She
please?
won't do it. She's like, not until I get some jewelry.
Fair.
So, yeah.
So until then,
fiction.
I
guess.
Write fiction.
She's holding on until she gets some jewelry.
I can relate to that. Early on, I wrote a lot of songs that when I would come back to them and try to, play them again, bring them back into a set, it just reminded me too much of something that was too personal to me. And so I kind of started to shy away from that. And then in place of just started writing more abstract, maybe not necessarily storytelling, but not so direct.
I would say that Oh Blue Maria is a kind of it became like a amalgamation, if that's the right word.
Okay.
Of every girl that a song was based on that I had written before.
Okay.
And I had this idea of there's the story, but then it kind of gets a little personal towards the very end, referencing I still sing about you. I wrote all these songs about all these other people, and I don't remember much about the relationships, but the songs are still there, and I still got to sing them.
Yep.
Which I thought was a really interesting thing, because the bitterness that maybe was there when you originally wrote those songs, that's long gone.
Sure.
So they all kind of just feel like stories now. So I've tried to lean more into the storytelling aspect of music, and
I love that.
Especially listening to, Jackson Browne. I've been very inspired by. When I started off, I was very.
I don't know a lot of Jackson Browne fans. I love Jackson Browne.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, I love Jackson Browne.
Yep.
So the first song I really released that I felt like was me, because everything kind of I was copying. Let's face it, Phil Collins.
Okay.
And the first song where I was like, okay, this is the music that I want to make was my song called Phases.
Okay.
And I started leaning more into more 70s, Cat Stevens, Jackson Brown, Warren Zevon, that kind of a sound.
Mm-hmm.
And that's every song I'm releasing, I'm kind of building on that foundation.
Nice.
And so that's why I started really telling stories and songs as opposed to there's still an element of myself in these songs, in these stories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to write other than in the first person.
Sure.
So it's just taking my personal experiences and expanding them into a more fictionalized story.
That works.
And that is more or less how Oh Blue Maria came.
Love it.
Just telling the story about a guy and a girl. She goes away.
The big chorus harmonies,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on that music with those big choruses, so
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I felt like the verses, although your voice sounds nothing like Neil Young's voice, I felt like the melody had like a Neil Young approach. Are you a Neil Young fan at all?
I can see that. I love Neil Young. Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, that's high praise.
There you go. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Oh.
I grew up on it.
Yeah, especially, their harmonies. I have always been a big fan of harmonies.
Likewise.
The first song I remember hearing that like blew me away. I don't remember what it was. An ABBA song.
Okay.
I was like in elementary school,
Yeah.
and I heard an ABBA song and like their harmonies that kind of shaped. I was like, oh my God, yes, I love lush harmonies and give me Queen and Journey and.
Mine was Simon and Garfunkel before anything else, and then Simon and Garfunkel to probably the Beatles, a little bit of Eagles, and then Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I was like, yep, that's the one. That's the one I like.
Yeah,
3-part harmonies.
I really love the Eagles. Their harmonies are impeccable.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. The more I hear about the Eagles, the more it feels like they write great music despite who they are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they would write anything if it made a buck.
Yeah.
It just so happened that what was making money at the time were incredible songs.
I kind of had it. It was the Eagles were force fed to me from I was going to Eagles concerts from the time I can remember.
Oh, wow.
Really young.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until probably like my 30s that I really like revisited the band with kind of fresh ears and just fell in love all over again.
You know who that was for me? Bruce Springsteen.
Okay. Boss.
While I wasn't force fed Bruce Springsteen, like every time I heard him, I was just like, oh, Bruce sucks. Yeah. And then like you grow up and you start working and you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, he was preaching.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I love Bruce Springsteen now. Darkness on the Edge of Town.
I never totally. I mean, I have so many friends that love him. I never got into the Boss for no reason.
Yeah,
just didn't.
I thought we were gonna speak about philosophy and.
Well, we can. I mean, we tried to do it last night for 2 fucking hours.
What happens when we die? I think we become grass, and then we're ate by cows, and then.
Specifically just grass?
Just grass. We become grass, and then we are fed because we have fed. I don't know, man.
Okay.
I thought I was going to go somewhere a lot better than that.
Not even like a wild dandelion amongst the grass?
It's
just only grass?
I think the most poetic thing...
That seems sad to me.
I think the most poetic thing would be you die, you become what are those weeds that you can blow on it and it blows in the wind? The
dandelion.
Is that a dandelion? Is that a dead dandelion?
Yes.
All right, well.
Yeah.
It's a dandelion, and then it was a dandelion.
Right. It's a dandelion that has gone to seed.
Yeah. So that's my final answer, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. I like the idea that it could be more than grass. So dandelion amongst the grass. There's something poetic. Maybe. That's a stretch.
I don't know. I like the idea of reincarnation. If if we can retain the knowledge that we got
Mm-hmm.
and then just, do better, that would be great. Like the math that I know right now, I know about, it could probably get me through like the 6th grade, I think.
Okay.
I could really nail it
Sure.
up until the 6th grade.
Yeah.
And,
You're impressing the hell out of the 6th graders.
oh my goodness. So if I could just come back with that knowledge, maybe I'll be able to catch up and learn the things that I was too dumb to understand.
What if in reincarnation you came back as a carnation flower?
Oh, it's very poisonous.
Poisonous?
Yeah, carnations are poisonous, aren't they? Yeah.
Aren't they in like every grocery store?
They
bouquet?
sure are. Yeah, I think if animals eat them.
Oh, poisonous animals. Well, I'm not eating flowers. I'm just giving them to
Well, they're toxic. You're not supposed to consume, and that's true of many flowers and some other flowers that are good in a tea that are good for you,
True.
like chamomile.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
there's tea.
Oh, yeah, tea. The moral of this story is don't eat flowers, I believe.
Yeah, of any kind.
Or live a good life, and then you won't come back as a poisonous flower.
Fair.
Maybe you'll come back as a dandelion, and then some child can
Short-lived
have some
dandelion,
enjoyment.
mind you. No dandelion has a long life. As long
That's
as there's
true.
wind, as long as there's wind happening, it's the life of a cicada. Let's not talk about cicadas.
Oh, we've opened up a can of cicadas over here.
I want to hear you play.
I would like to play for you.
Let's go do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. She leaves tomorrow on a train set for LA. I'd do anything to make her stay. I would beg, steal, and borrow, but it wouldn't do me any good. This train don't stop till Hollywood. She won't let me see her breaking down at the simple thought. Hides her face like Mother Tongue. Oh, Blue Maria. Blue Maria. She rolls down her windows. I wave to her as she passes by, fading into that morning sky. But I'm too good to stop her. Maybe I was too scared to do what she always wanted me to do. Oh, Blue Maria. Oh, Blue Maria. I still sing about you. I've forgotten all but your name, and I wonder if you've done the same. Oh,
memory of